Hi there, and welcome to This Day in History. I'm taking another day off from writing, recording, and editing a new episode for you today. Again, fear not, I found one for August 12th from a previous year and dusted it off for you. As with yesterday, the audio seemed a little echoey to me, so I ran it through an app that hopefully enhances the sound a bit. Again, I thank you so much for your indulgence and loyalty. Hi there, and welcome to This Day in History for August 12th. August 12th is the 244th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, 225th in leap years, with 141 days remaining to the end of the year. This time of year is typically the peak of the Perseid meteor shower. Today's word is coup de foudre. If you guess this comes to us from French, then you are correct. This phrase means love at first sight. The literal translation of coup de foudre is stroke of lightning. And with that, we're going to start in 1492 when Christopher Columbus arrived in the Canary Islands on his first voyage to the New World. This is the birthday of controversial Russian occultist, philosopher, and author Helena Blavatsky, born August 12, 1831. She's also known as Madame Blavatsky, co-founder of the Theosophical Society. Sometimes I stumble over that word. Theosophical Society. She described theosophy as a synthesis of science, religion, and philosophy. She died of influenza at the age of 59. Oh, I like this one. You've heard of the Singer sewing machine, haven't you? Well, on August 12, 1851, Isaac Singer was granted a patent for his sewing machine. I learned how to sew on a Singer treadle machine out of my Grandma Susie's. This is the birthday of author Catherine Lee Bates, born August 12, 1859. She wrote poetry, travel books, essays, children's books, books for young adults, and editions of older works. But what she's particularly remembered for is as the author of America the Beautiful. She lived to the age of 69. This is the birthday of Clara Hitler, born August 12, 1860. Clara was the mother of the infamous Adolf Hitler. She developed breast cancer in the days before mammograms, and by the time she sought treatment, her cancer had, of course, metastasized in a pretty dramatic fashion. Frankly, I'm impressed that they were able to give her as much treatment as she got, since this was in the early 1900s, and I'm talking about double-aught hundreds before 1910. Adolf begged the doctors to do whatever they could, and they did have an early form of chemotherapy. The description of the treatment and the effects of it sound like it was probably worse than the disease. Anyway, Clara died from the effects of the chemotherapy when she was 47. On August 12, 1865, British surgeon and scientist Joseph Lister performed the first antiseptic surgery. This is the birthday of American director and producer Cecil B. DeMille, born August 12, 1881. Acknowledged as a founding father of the American cinema, he's one of the most commercially successful producer-directors in film history. He lived to the age of 77. Interesting day for birthdays, August 12th. This is the birthday of Austrian physicist and academic Erwin Schrödinger, born August 12, 1887. When you look at the list for things that he's known for, well, let's just say it is a very long list. He won the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1933 and lived to the age of 73. This is the birthday of American actress Jane Wyatt, born August 12, 1910. She starred in a number of films, but may be best known as the mother on the TV show Father Knows Best, and as the human mother of Spock from Star Trek. She lived to the age of 96. This is the birthday of America's singer, songwriter, and guitarist Porter Wagoner, born August 12, 1927. Known as Mr. Grand Ole Opry, he has a lengthy discography, and he introduced Dolly Parton on his TV show back in the 60s. Porter Wagoner lived to the age of 80. Happy birthday to Scottish-English singer, songwriter, guitarist, and producer Mark Knopfler, born August 12, 1949, co-founder of the musical group Dire Straits. My goodness, what a sound that guy could put out. NASA's first successful communication satellite, the Echo 1A, was launched on August 12, 1960. I remember that, and I was confused because they called it Echo, but I couldn't hear anything. I think they probably named it Echo for a little bit different reason, probably because you could send stuff up and it would send it back. The first free flight of the Space Shuttle Enterprise took place on August 12, 1977. Now, what does that mean? Well, they had an idea that they could send a shuttle up into space and let it land by gliding back to Earth, but it did have to be tested. It had to be tested. And what they did was they connected the Enterprise to a shuttle carrier aircraft, or SCA, which would take it up, way up. And then the shuttle would be released so that it could glide down and land on the runways at Edwards Air Force Base. They did this to test the flight characteristics of the orbiter itself on a typical approach and landing profile from orbit. So, first one of these test flights was on August 12, 1977. On August 12, 1981, the IBM personal computer was released. On August 12, 1993, the largest and most complete Tyrannosaurus rex skeleton found to date was discovered by Sue Hendrickson in South Dakota, right here in North America. This T-Rex is called Sue in honor of its discoverer. Major League Baseball players went on strike April 12, 1994. Now, I'm not sure what the conditions or terms were, but I do know the number of loyal baseball fans were not the least bit happy about it, referring to the striking players as millionaire crybabies. I'm going to have to bleep that out. This strike forced the cancellation of the 1994 World Series. Today's song is 3 Times a Lady by the Commodores, number 1 on August 12, 1978. Written by Commodore's lead singer Lionel Richie, 3 Times a Lady was Commodore's first number 1 hit on the Billboard Hot 100. Lionel Richie comes by his musical interests honestly. His grandmother taught classical piano. In addition, we can thank his parents for the very personal inspiration for this song. At their 37th wedding anniversary party, his father, Lionel Sr., honored his mother, Alberta, with a lovely toast, saying, "She's a great lady, a great mother, and a great friend." This inspired Lionel Jr. to write a waltz, 3 Times a Lady, which he then dedicated to his own wife, Brenda. He didn't really think a waltz would be a good fit with Commodore's musical style, but he wrote it with the idea that someone like Frank Sinatra might sing it. As the group was recording their album Natural High, group members brought forth songs they had written. Richie presented 3 Times a Lady with a disclaimer, but when their producer, James Anthony Carmichael, heard the song, he insisted it be included on the album. It was also released as a single from the album, became a smash hit, and really propelled the Commodores into fame. Knowing the genesis of this song makes it seem even more beautiful, don't you think? 3 Times a Lady by the Commodores, number 1, August 12, 1978. Link in the description. And I think that's going to do it for us today. Thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to share this video with a link in your email, messaging, or social media. If you enjoy this series, you can check out the playlist that contains these videos. I'll put a link to that in the description. That description lives on YouTube, so for other platforms, I'll include a link to my blog page that is called No Really. And you can also find me on Rumble, BitChute, and Odyssey. All those links in that description. Alrighty, that's all I can think of right now. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time. Get your microphone. Okay. Phone over there. Hello. Okay. With 202 days remaining to the end of the world. End of the year. Please, not the end of the world. 202 days remaining to the end of the year. Let's read that one again. Yep, it is. That's what it's called. All right. Third time better be a charm. There's no "the" there. Start over. Attracting. Just read the whole thing over. I don't ad-lib very well. You know what? Maybe we can leave that one off. Don't alienate people who can be helpful to you. Flinging happiness all over the place. I don't know. Can I get this edited? Let's find out. Alrighty. Back to work. I think we got it this time.